Hi, Bruce. It's Merrill Reese. How are you?
Good, Merrill. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. Bruce, what have you seen in Jalen Hurts' development since you faced him in Week 6?
Oh, God, dramatic improvement. Total command of that offense, really accurate down the field, really improved as a passer. But, he knows when to pull it down and he knows when to throw it. So I've seen great growth out of him.
What are the other big differences? What are the other big differences, Bruce, that you've seen out of that offense since the last time you played them?
I think just knowing who they are and total commitment to the run game, but they've got those downfield weapons that they're very unique. All those they're as good a young group as they're in the league right now, as far as tight end and receivers. All can go deep, all can take the top off, and so it's a good young group.
Bruce, the first time you faced the Eagles in Week 6 there was sort of the turning point for them where they went more run heavy. So when you see that change from the first time, how much more difficult does it make preparing for them here the second time?
Yeah, a lot more, because you can see a much more confident football team in what they're doing. They know who they are. And so that anytime you have an identity and you play to that strength, man, it's a lot tougher than when you're looking for one.
Hey, Bruce, I was wondering if I could ask you about Chris Godwin. I mean, ever since he went out, first of all, like, how big a loss was that for you guys? And, how have you guys been different since he was out, since he left the lineup?
Well, yeah, he's a great player. I mean, he's talking about an all-pro player who is having a career season. So he does so much for us, and he's a unique player. So we don't try to ask other guys to be him. Byron's done a great job of taking the guys that he has each week, and it's been a bunch of different ones, and putting them in a position where they can be successful. But none of them are Chris Godwin.
Yeah. So I mean, is it kind of like a case where you can't really replace him as much as you can kind of hope like the other guys can kind of each do their part to fill in, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's all you can do.
Hey, Bruce, given his relationship with Jalen Hurts, I'm just wondering if you've had any conversations with O.J. Howard and, any perspective he might be able to provide?
Not really. I mean, we all know what a great leader he is and what a great competitor he is. So they played together, been a while now. So, but no, not at all.
And if I could follow up, you mentioned the receivers earlier. What are your observations on DeVonta Smith and the season he's had? And just out of curiosity, did you guys spend any time looking at him, considering the fact that he trained in Tampa during the offseason or during the pre-draft process?
Yeah, not really. I knew he'd be long gone. I was just going to be wasting my time watching him. He'd be long before we picked. And so, no, he's obviously you break Deshaun's records for rookie, and that's saying something. And really loved him coming out. And there's not anything he can't do. He's one of the most refined route runners coming out of college in the last few years.
Hey, Bruce, when you faced the Eagles the first time, you didn't have Antoine Winfield Jr. On the back end. He missed that game with injury. What does he bring to your secondary as sort of the leader back there?
Yeah, he's a very, very heady player, but he's an excellent tackler, and he's got good ball skills. So if it's on the ground, he finds it. He does a good job of just directing the secondary, and we miss him when he's not out there.
Hey, Bruce, you guys have like a ton of guys, obviously, with extensive playoff experience. I mean, Brady, for example, has played in 45 playoff games. How much of an advantage, or is it an advantage, when you're going against a team like the Eagles? I mean, Jalen Hurts is playing in his first game, DeVonta Smith, some of the other guys on the Eagles, obviously. Does that help you guys at all, do you think?
Well, I think if it helps in preparation. Know how to ratchet up for the preparation, but sometimes it's more dangerous playing the guys that don't know no better. and they just come out firing and playing fast. So they don't have to think about it. So, sometimes you think about it too much, you put pressure on yourself.
Bruce, I know that you guys are you finished third in run defense, but what's the state of the D against the run rate? Heading into the playoffs, and what's gonna be key for this matchup?
Yeah, just good discipline. That's the problem when you have read option quarterbacks and all the RPOs that go off of it. It's just not stopping the run; it's stopping the RPOs also. But yeah, you got to have great discipline. You got to really tackle well because whoever's got the ball in their hands for Philly is very dangerous.
Hey, Bruce, there's some weather in the forecast for Sunday down there. Have you guys planned on doing anything different to prepare for this game because of it?
No, not really. It changes every 4 or 5 hours around here, so we'll wait and see too. It could be sunshine, and you never know here.
Bruce, what are the challenges? What are the biggest challenges for a quarterback in his first playoff game? I know you've had some established guys, but what are the biggest challenges?
Just relaxing and play and let the game come to you. Don't try to go out there and be Superman. And I think Andrew Luck was one of those guys that it didn't bother him whatsoever because he'd been in big games, and Jalen's been in the championship games, and so he's played in bigger games, that's for sure.
Anything else?
Hey, Bruce, what do you know about Jonathan Gannon's scheme or approach now with a larger sample size that maybe was harder to deduce in Week 6?
It's a good scheme. I mean, very multiple. He does a really good job. They're not out of position. They're extremely well coached. They know what they're doing. So, it's a difficult challenge, that's for sure.
Hey, Bruce. Not really this game type of question, but your coordinators, they're both supposed to be getting interviewed. I mean, how are you optimistic that when this is all said and done this season that they'll end up having head coaching jobs of their own?
I would hope so. They deserve it, that's for sure. And you never know what's going to happen in the interview process, but I'm glad to see that they are getting some attention.